no show and tell. You can take the cell.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of, I guess I'm still going to call it TTLG till I figure this thing out. It's me, Sledge Gibson, doing that thing I do when not wrestling, because we're still in quarantine season, which is fine. Coming to you with another, I guess, audio log. I'm going to make the attempt to talk a little slower, because I realized after listening to the previous one, I talk kind of fast. I guess it's endearing, but it makes me hard to understand sometimes, so I understand that. Anyway, I am here today to grace you guys with the great story that any independent wrestler has to deal with, and that is their first match. Now, I was excited and nervous and anxious, but I would say after looking back at that, it was not a good time. Now, my first match, I wouldn't call it a match. It was more of a gimmick thing. It was supposed to be, it was for CPW. It's like March 31st or something like that. It was 2017, I believe. Yep, 2017? I don't know. I can't remember the exact date. Just know it was in March. But anyway, more importantly, for CPW, it was a $10,000 body slam challenge. And the person that was supposed to be wrestling for said body slam challenge name was Giant Kong. Now, the two people I'd been training with up to that point, friends Travis and Logan, kept trying to reiterate to the point to me of just how big this man is. And by big, I mean hefty, like a shoot 450. That's pretty heavy. But no, I didn't want to hear anything they had to say. I was like, nah, I can do it. He could jump for me, right? Like, he can get up there, do the thing, it'd be cool. Yeah, but come day of the show, I see this man, and I realized the error of my ways, because beforehand, we did make the attempt to try it a couple times to see if I could actually get him up. That wasn't going to happen. And in the process of one of the many failed attempts, we had the brilliant idea of, like, what if he tried to jump and twist at the same time so it could be like, a quick dump? But when that happened, my hands were in the right place for what I was trying to do. Problem is, like, when he fell back onto me and we fell, I guess all the excess, I'm trying to say this without sounding rude, but I guess all the excess collapsed on my wrist and just snapped it. Like, when it happened, it didn't hurt immediately. I felt it pop, and in my head I was like, well, that's not good. Pretty soon after, it started swelling up. It was just red. I'm black, okay, and my wrist was red. It's hard for us to show any other color but brown, but it did that day. But as for the actual match itself, it was very short, 60 seconds at best. Just me getting beat down and just making the attempts at picking him up, which I could have tried for all God's might, and just couldn't do it. But that was part of the story. But when it came to the payoff of me actually picking him up and body slamming him, that also didn't work out. I could only describe it. I got him about halfway up, and that was just my pure strength, because he was incapable of actually jumping due to his size. But I got him up and dumped him, like not even a slam. It's just like I just basically put him back down. Crowd still cheered, I guess, because it's like, oh, it's the first match, just get excited, whatever. That was not a fun time. Not too long after, though, a few months later, I'm still, like, I'm always going to consider myself green, because there's always something to learn, but at this time I was still super green. And I found myself in, I guess, a title match story, rivalry type thing, with said fellows, Travis and Logan, now Ray Bex and Leo Kirby, as they're referred to. We were in a whole rivalry thing that just kept going for a while. Funny story about one of the matches we had, because we wound up doing a double shot one day. Same promotion, just did two shows in one day in two different places. Can't remember what happened in the first show, but the second show was at a place called Hoops Academy out in Ashland, Virginia. And funny thing is, we got booked in a triple threat match. Now, we spent we kept trying to put our match together, but we couldn't find 10 seconds apiece to actually do so. So, because we just kept getting interrupted and bombarded by people, because we were also helping set up and stuff, and we just kept getting stopped. So at one point, we actually got in the car and went to Wawa, and in that 10-minute car trip, we went through the entire match and put it together. And then we actually, shortly thereafter, went out and did it, because we didn't have any other chance to go over it. So it was like sink or swim at that point. Either you remember it or you don't. So that happened. The funny thing is, for the finish, it's supposed to be like, are there even DQs in a triple threat match? There wasn't this one, because Leo Kirby went out and got a chair and hit me with it. Funny thing is, he was frantically looking for a folding chair in the crowd, but couldn't find one. Because for whatever reason, this place had those wonderful cushioned church chairs, and it's like, well, how devastating is it going to be if I hit him with this? So he ended up just hitting me with, like, I guess the back of the chair, like not even like flat, just like the pointed back. I don't know how to describe it. A couple months later, we had yet another triple threat. This is kind of hilarious. We had a triple threat ladder match. That was, I could describe as kind of a rib, because, the title's like, suspended above the ring on what appeared to be a makeshift apparatus. Not even apparatus, it's just string going across two beams that happened to be inside this firehouse. It was up there, and literally right as the match is about to start, I guess the duct tape, because, independent wrestling, the duct tape that was holding the title in place in the ring, like, broke, and the title slid all to one side. It was, like, against the pole. And they stopped and tried to, fix it, because the match hadn't started yet, so we're just, like, chilling for, like, 10 minutes. This is the main event, mind you. And the crowd's getting a tad restless, so they just said, F it. So at that point, our ladder match became a gimmick on a pole match. And again, still super green, and basically everything we had planned out, and even actually rehearsed beforehand because we trained together, pretty much almost went out the window. So we ended up doing what we planned out, but we had to make on-the-fly variations to it. But, coming towards the finish, which we got a lot of flack for. Like, it wasn't even our idea. How the finish wasn't even our idea. It just, we were, asked, hey, this would be cool. And all right. Mr. Robert Cropper said, it'd be cool for this match. What if because there's a balcony inside the firehouse, right? It's maybe like a 12, 15-foot drop. And it'd be cool if you picked up Leo Kirby on your shoulders and threw him off into a table. And I've been like, that would be cool. I'm not going to do it, but that would be cool. But this man, Leo, a.k.a. Logan, because Logan's his real name, I'm going to call him by his government name, Logan Kirby, decided, I'll do it. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not the one being thrown over. I mean, if you're cool with it, I'll chuck your ass over. I'm not supposed to curse in these. Oh, well, whatever. So we get up there, we look, and I'm like, again, is it my arm? Sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I'm already up here. All right, so I throw him off. He lands, hit the table, and the table was cushioned. It was I guess there was a crash pad and everything, pretty thick crash pad too. Plus, there were a lot of people standing right there, playing the part of concern. So if I overshot him, they would have caught him. If I undershot him, he lands on the table. Either way, he would have been fine. It was about as safe as it could have been, but we got more flack for that than anything else. No one's going to be named, but individuals claiming that we just did it to be over. No, we didn't do it for any kind of popularity. It was suggested to us. Initially, we said no. And then how it was going to be made safe was brought to our attention. And he said yes, and I was like, well, I'm not going through tables, so I guess I'll do it, so whatever. That's how that ended up panning out. I'm really glad that since then I've had much better quality matches, because those matches were really questionable. I think I watched them back one time, but never again. It's one of those things. It's The crowd reaction was good, because I guess once you got to throwing somebody off of a balcony, we'll usually get a good reaction, I guess. But, yeah, I've had better matches since then, and they're all, not all of them. Some of them are on my YouTube. I've been trying to be better about actually recording my matches. But, yeah, anyway, that covers my first match, and that will be my first rivalry. Even as much of a rib both of them was. Things have gotten better. I've gotten better. I've been learning, training, working out, all that stuff. So match quality can only go up from here. Actually, I've had some. Actually, in the following year, me and Leo Kirby actually had a really good match at Big Time Wrestling. I can only say that because after the match was over, Kevin Nash and Arn Anderson, who were there signing autographs, said, "Good job," and shook our hands. Well, he shook my hand. Leo Kirby accidentally didn't notice. He went to shake his hand and just walked off. He literally big time Kevin Nash, and I've been giving him crap for that for like years now. It's freaking great. But anyway, now for that. That is today's rambling episode of whatever I got going on. It's not even what I got going on. This is just stuff that happened. I guess I'll keep this series going. Again, it depends on how I feel, I guess. If anybody's actually watching these. Or I might just make them for fun. Something to do. Practice talking, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm out.